On the 17th of July 1984, I was born in Frimley Park Hospital, and just 8 days later on the same ward, Alistair was born. We met for the first time just a few weeks later when our mothers met at a National Childbirth Trust coffee morning in Blackwater. Being young first-time parents, they found they had much in common, and as my parents began going to the same church as Jane and David, their friendship developed. When Al was around 3 months old, Jane was looking to get back to work. As my mother was staying home to look after me, they arranged that my mother would look after Al during the day as well. My mother bought a double buggy to push us around in, and had we looked a little more similar, people might have mistaken us for twins. At my first birthday came a notorious incident that Al would never live down. With plates of nibbles laid out on our living room table, Al tactically positioned himself next to the cocktail sausages. Shortly after, there was nothing left but an empty plate, and Al looking slightly guilty but content. This incident would be brought up many times over the years when our families met, and Al would still find it embarrassing, even though he was only 1 at the time. Shortly after our 3rd birthdays, it was time for us to begin preschool. We started at the same school, Yateley Manor, although Al was in the afternoon class and I was in the morning class. But come the first year of infant school, we would share lifts to and from school, although again to our disappointment, we were in different classes. We continued to spend lots of time together out of school, and due to the close proximity of our birthdays, we shared many of our birthday parties. Some of my most vivid early memories are from Jane and David's house in Frogmore. I can still to this day picture the layout of the house, playing in the garden and watching Button Moon on the television under the stairs. For our 5th birthdays, we shared a party at the local community centre. Our parents hired a bouncy castle, and we spent most of the party bouncing away. I also remember clearly playing pin the tail on the donkey while our mothers put together party bags, with the other children trying to sneak a look at what goodies they might be getting. When I was 6, our family moved away from Blackwater. On the day of the move, my 2-year-old sister spent the day at the Carmichaels while we accompanied the delivery lorry to our new house in Petersfield. Although we were no longer living close by, our parents stayed in touch, and after Jane and David moved the family to Kidderminster, our family would regularly visit for birthday parties and anniversaries. In his early teenage years, Al began playing drums, and when we would meet up, he would play drums and I would jam along on guitar. At the age of 15, when many people still hadn't heard of the internet, we began talking to each other online. It was at this point that we really got to know each other well, and it was amazing that having been so close as toddlers, our interests were so similar. We shared a love for music, for film, and technology, in particular gaming. We began playing games online together and would meet up for the weekend every few months. In short, we rekindled the friendship that had begun at just a few weeks old. In 2006, Al's dad David sadly passed away after suffering from illness. It was a sad day for all of us, but it is one of the images of Al that will stick with me the most, of him being strong and being there for his family when they needed him most. As Al developed his IT skills, he began to understand better the technology behind the games we played. Eventually, he came to me with the idea to start a company renting out game servers. His first employer had a brand called Pulse Gaming, which they no longer had the time to run, and so Al negotiated to take over the brand and its customers. We set up the website and automated the billing system as we took our first steps together in business. As we developed our business and expanded to look at other areas, Al always relished the challenge that a new project would present. He enjoyed the technology and took pride in his work, and would take great delight in finding an innovative solution to whatever problem presented itself. We would regularly go on holiday together, and we visited my family in Holland several times. Last May we were invited to my grandma's 75th birthday celebrations, and much to his embarrassment, my aunts reminded him that they had changed his nappy as a baby. One of the last photos of us together was the photograph taken after the meal, with Al treated as part of the family while he sported his trademark cheeky grin. 18 months ago, I was involved in a minor accident which resulted in my car being written off. After getting back home, I spoke briefly with Al about it online and reassured him that I was feeling fine. An hour later, I had a call from him saying that he had taken the next day off work and would be coming over to see me that evening. This is the Al that I will always remember, a man who cared deeply about his friends and family, and who would drop whatever he was doing to be there for them when they needed him.